Hi everyone, meteorologist Ed Valley here, taking a look a little bit more in depth regarding South America. We want to touch on a couple things here. I'm getting a variety of information tossed my way, anywhere from everything's all good, and then I have a couple guys saying, well, I got a vendor that's telling me this or that. So totally understand that. So we're just going to roll through kind of what I'm thinking and, what we see moving forward because, the beauty of what we do meteorologically is, it's subjective, right? Everybody has a little bit of a different opinion, and that's probably good for the enterprise, right? So let's talk about it and we'll get to it. So we're looking here basically at the front third of October. And this is from about the 7th through the 23rd, or the 8th through the 23rd of October. So we're looking at the last 30 days. First, we're looking at the first 15, and then the last 15. Then we'll look at the 30 as a whole, and then we'll look at 7 days. So the 8th through the 13th, Brazil, pretty solid, right? Argentina, decent opportunity for rain. You look at the actual amounts here. You can see, again, pretty solid amounts. Again, in Argentina, my big focal point is going to be this area right here. Northern and western Buenos Aires, central southern Cordoba, northeast La Pampa. That is really where I'm focused. Again, outside of that, there is production, but that's my focal point. Now, here is the most recent 15 days. So this is from the 23rd of October through the 7th of November. Again, Argentina doing pretty well. Eastern areas, not so much, but central areas doing pretty well. Brazil, as we've noted, most areas doing pretty well. Now, Rio Grande do Sul, you could argue, is on the drier side. Here's those numbers verbatim. There they are. You see a lot of Argentina has seen anywhere from 20 to, in some cases, 100 millimeters of rainfall during that 2-week period. That's pretty solid if you ask me. Now, again, far east and into Rio Grande do Sul, it has been drier than normal. But then you go up into Santa Catarina, Paraná, up into parts of Mato Grosso do Sul, Goiás, and parts of Mato Grosso, just really good rain. Here's the 30-day period as a whole. So from the 7th through the 7th, this is what we get. Pretty good in Brazil. Pretty good in Argentina. Now, again, eastern croplands could see more rainfall. They need it. But the heart of the region, I think, is seeing enough to start the season. Last 7 days looks like this. This is really from the 1st through the 8th. Again, great rain in central and northern areas. Cordoba is here. And we're going to look at this a little closer. So again, keep in mind that production is mostly in this area here. That's the heart of it right here. So with that said, anywhere from about 3/4 of an inch to, in some cases, 3 inches of rainfall in that area, much more to the north, scattered rains to the south as well. Now, up in Brazil, same period, last 7 days, you notice good rain, central Brazil, no worries. It's really Paraná that has seen less rain down into parts of Rio Grande do Sul. That's just kind of how it's been. You can see as I zoom in here, Rio Grande do Sul. Again, we're getting really down into the nitty gritty of this to really try to find an issue. You know what I mean? So generally speaking, I think most areas are doing just fine. So that brings me to this next point. What happens in the future? Well, through the middle of this week, you notice a couple things. You notice that eastern Argentina area we just talked about, Rio Grande do Sul, still dry. Okay, so this gets the frowny face, if you will. Now, good rain in the western 30 to 50% of Argentina through the middle of the week. Western Cordoba, La Pampa. But again, the heart of the production not getting much through this week. Okay, now taking that up into Brazil. Same old here through Wednesday. A ton of rain in the tropical climates of central Brazil, Mato Grosso, Goiás, northern Mato Grosso do Sul. But notice down from central Mato Grosso do Sul down into Paraná, still on the drier side, only 1/10 to maybe 3/4 of an inch through most of this week. Okay, so again, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen in southern Brazil and eastern Argentina, but it's starting to get dry there, right? So that makes this forecast that much more important. So let's talk about where this pattern is going. Well, through this week, like we mentioned, you see the daily rains up in parts of central Brazil. through Thursday, through Friday. And as we head into the end of the week and into the weekend, the GFS gets a nice cluster of storms going Saturday night and into Sunday, the 13th and 14th. And that kind of explodes northward into Monday with additional storms through that week. That would be pretty good, right? You look at these amounts, that would be pretty solid. I mean, next 10 days to have another 20 to 100 millimeters in areas that need it, that'd be good. But you notice Rio Grande do Sul, which does account for 20% of first crop Brazilian corn, that's still on the drier side, okay? Now, you look at the European model. We're focusing in on that 13th and 14th time frame, right? So you see here as we get into that 13th time frame, there it goes. 13th and 14th, clusters of storms blast through Argentina into southern Brazil for the weekend and into early next week. A couple additional opportunities beyond that, but here is what that yields. That would be, again, a pretty favorable solution. So again, with what we're seeing over the next 10 days, it's hard for us to say, well, oh boy, this isn't good. So through the middle of November, we're good. However, we are beginning to see signs now in the 8 to 15 day, especially on the European, that we could be looking at a La Nina type pattern returning here with drier conditions in Argentina and wetter conditions in Brazil. Now, you look at the GFS, a little bit wetter in Argentina, but that could be a resolution issue. Because you notice, what do we see? We see the main features here. We see the heavier stuff in central, in parts of southern Brazil, drier in Argentina. You look at the GFS, you also see that corridor of heavier rain in central and southern Brazil, and it is locally relatively drier in Argentina. So it might be just a wet bias here on the GFS ensemble here. Likewise here with the Canadian, but you notice the same idea. The corridor shifts up into Brazil with drier risk possible in parts of Argentina. Now, at the same time, if you look at the 14 days as they are on all data, you see that? It is, I'm having trouble showing you my European data, but it is on the cooler side for the next 2 weeks. So the dryness is going to be a concern, and it is building, okay? And this is why I'm concerned. La Nina favors dry risk in Argentina and southern Brazil. Now, sometimes that orientation can be a little different, right? This is the November-December correlation from the Niño region to precipitation rate in South America. Here's where we are in that Niño region. It's negative right here. See it? It's been trending negative. That means that a negative Niño with a positive correlation here to precip would mean negative precipitation anomaly in those areas we just discussed, wetter to the north. So that's really where our concern lies. And if you look at the 16 to 30 day on the newest European weeklies, that's exactly where that concern lies, right? So that's going to be our focus here in the coming weeks and months. That was a quick update for you. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll be back with one of these videos a week from now. And of course, we have daily reports coming your way each morning. Have a great day.